back to Bear with me, BearElliott, and this is part 5 of the Hill View Manor investigation that took place on August 15th, 2015. We have now entered into one of the most interesting, most boring, and the longest part of a paranormal investigation. That is where you head home after the investigation and you go through all of the evidence that you've collected through the course of the investigation. During your time while you're at the location, you're going to be taking a lot of photos, and if you're me, you're going to be taking a lot of audio. That means that you walk around with a microphone, you walk around with a recorder, hoping that some ghost is going to interact with you. That's the part that we've entered into now. Part 5. Like I said, this is the most time-consuming portion of the actual hunt. You might be at a location anywhere between 2 hours to 5 hours to 7 hours. This portion can often take days. You also want to have other people's opinions when it comes to evaluating your information and evaluating what you're seeing. It's always good to hunt with a group because then you can bounce ideas off each other and be like, hey, I have this. What do you think of this? Here's an example of that. I got some very strange video while I was on the walkthrough. And I thought it was kind of strange. And I'm looking at the video and it wasn't very long at all. It was like 10 seconds. And what it was, I was focused on recording down this really creepy looking hallway. At this hallway, I swear that when I was looking at it originally, I'm like, it looks like there's some kind of black shadow person that walked in front of the light because the light was being cast off the exit sign. So it adds this really red, creepy glow to it. I was like, did I see what I think I saw? So I posted it to my group and also to a couple of my friends who are also paranormal investigators. And they're like, I'm not seeing anything. And then when I went back and re-looked at the footage, your mind starts to play tricks on you during this time. And I'm like, I think I know what it is. My camera was having trouble, of course. It's trying to focus on a dark object in the dark. So the lens was trying to focus, and that's what it was. So the iris wasn't able to figure out what I was supposed to be looking at. Therefore, you have a little glitchy thing. No paranormal. That's just technical difficulty. All right, so this is the big part. This is what you've been waiting for. Was there any evidence in the actual hunt? Well, after many hours of having these on my head, which this is the exact same pair I wear during the hunt as well, because I'm listening to the audio as I record, and also I use this. This is my book that I write down all of the audio notes in. And let's just go through those, because there's a lot of them basically that say, no EVP. Yeah. So I spent a lot of time just listening to absolutely nothing. But this is also a great way for me to go back and listen for what exactly may have happened. So during the course of the time that we were in the Hill View Manor in Pennsylvania, there was a significant temperature drop while we were in Jeffrey's room. Jeffrey is a little boy. He's very interested in toys. There's toys all over his room. I'm sure you saw the photos of that. He also likes to play with the toys and play with the balls. Well, while Patty, another investigator, and I were inside this room, there was a significant temperature drop while we were in there. Now, temperature is one of those ways that we can gauge. Generally, when an entity manifests itself, it draws in so much energy, which therefore causes the temperature of that particular area to drop. We had a significant drop in temperature actually right beside me on my right-hand side. And I started to feel a little cold on my arm, and when I pointed the temperature gauge over there, the temperature dropped from, let me pull up my notes, because this is why we have notes. So the temperature dropped on that particular time from 86 degrees down to 78. Now, there's no air conditioning in this room. There's no flow of air inside this room. So there's really no reason for that temperature to drop that much. Almost a 10 degrees drop. That's pretty significant. So pretty good evaluation. Also, when looking back, there's a lot of smells that took place. This rotten smell, almost like sewage that would come and go. Very pungent smells. There was at one time when we were in the chapel, there was a smell of rose water and a man's cologne. So there was that as well. There's a lot of audio that actually took place while we were walking through the location, like footsteps and so forth, that were not recorded on the actual recording device. But there was other audio that was pretty significant. That's the cool part. So we're going to take a little break, and I'm going to take a little break, and you're actually going to listen to and watch. There's 2 separate clips that I want you to listen to. Now, the first clip was when Patty and I were inside the room that's Mary's room. Now, Mary is a entity that they've identified. She rocks in her chair, and she's known from going from her room over to her bathroom. Well, there's actually 2 separate clips that took place in that particular area. The first clip we're going to listen to was while Patty and I were actually on our... No, we were in that room at that time. I couldn't remember if we were in the hallway, but yes, we were, according to my notes, we were actually in Mary's room. So the first audio I want you to listen to is actually Patty asking them a question, and you're going to hear a response. I'm going to play that particular clip 4 times. The first time you're going to hear it, there's not going to be actually identifying what it says. The second time you're going to see an identifier of what exactly I believe is what she's saying. So that's going to play 4 times for you. The next clip following that, while Patty and I were also inside that room, there was a very odd sound that took place. Now, I want you to listen to that clip twice. It's a little bit longer, so we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back.
Hello? 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 Is that you?
No, I just heard that. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I think maybe that's you against the wall.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not moving when it happens.
Okay. Hello?
Is somebody there? It's like footsteps.
My name's Patty. Would you share your name? Is that you?
No, I just heard that. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I think maybe that's you against the wall.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not moving when it happens.
Okay. Hello?
Is somebody there? It's like footsteps.
My name's Patty. Would you share your name?
Okay, have I officially freaked you out? First clip. First clip is when Patty and I were asking an entity. Actually, Patty was asking the entity, is there anyone there? There's a strange audio noise. Now, this is where you need to figure out, okay, is there an entity? There was absolutely nothing around that could cause this sound to produce. And it has a very feminine, and to me, it sounds like a feminine voice responding to Patty's question. Patty asks, is anyone there? You hear a feminine response say, yes. Now, we are in not Patty's room, we were in Mary's room. Is that Mary responding? Who knows? But it is kind of odd that there is a response back to Patty's question. In the second clip, you hear a definite sound. It almost sounds like someone's moving a desk around, a metal desk. It's very weird. And then you hear significant footsteps. Now, in this investigation, we all split up. So there was no one around us at this time. They were all in different areas of the building. So there wasn't anybody walking down the hall with us because we want to make sure we don't taint each other's information that we're gathering, especially when it comes to EVPs. So this is really odd. So you hear the sound, very, very significant sound, happen twice, and footsteps that are corresponding with that. So it sounds like somebody's moving things around an office or opening them up in like a cabinet room. Very, very significant audio response in that incident. So those are the 2 most, I'd say the best ones that I can't really say, that's not really works. Those are the 2 best examples from Hill View Manor that I was unable to identify what caused it or why it was happening. And there was a response to a question or to us being there. So yeah, so who knows? Maybe that was Mary, like talking back to us. Kind of cool. And I don't know. I feel bad for the other person. It sounds like they were rearranging their office, so they're still at work, even in their afterlife. Ooh, that would suck. So, last up, we have, I did not get a lot of photographic evidence. Now, orbs. Orbs are a huge big deal in the ghost hunting community. Now, with orbs, oftentimes people are going to photograph an area and be like, oh, it's loaded with orbs. Yeah, you're standing in a graveyard, so there's going to be a lot of dust flying around you. Or you're in an old building, there's a lot of dust flying around. So when it comes to orbs, you really have to use your best judgment. And if there looks like there's like density to the orb, maybe there's something more there. Also, look at your photo to make sure there's no flash residual coming off of something else. Because when you take photos, you're in the dark. I mean, you can take them in the dark, but most of your photos are just going to come out black. You say flash. So you want to make sure that the other people in your group identify that you're going to be taking a photo, so they're not taking a photo at the same time. And all of a sudden you have more orbs. Or their flash bounces off something else. This is a specific photo that I want you to take a look at. There's no flash source that I can see. My flash isn't bouncing off of something, and there's definitely an orb in the photo. Is it an entity? I don't know. So take a look at it. Tell me what you think. Hi, Cublets. So what do you think? Was that an entity? Who knows? He didn't come back and say, hi, my name's Bob. But hey, there you go. That is the evidence that I collected while there for a long time. As you can see, you spend a lot of time in your ghost hunting, not a lot happening. So unfortunately, on those ghost shows that you see things happening all the time, makes me wonder about them, because after being a ghost hunter for 20 plus years, I've never had an experience that was so extremely active. My overall review of what I thought of Hill View Manor. Very interesting location, has a very diverse history. Is it as active as the employees want you to think? I don't know. No full body apparitions that I saw or anyone else on the group experienced. There was some shadow people going on. Definitely at the beginning of the tour, I noticed that with that shadow that walked by me or shot past me, they talked a lot about spirits rushing them. That didn't happen. Definitely there's some weird audio going on inside that building. So is it a haunted location? I definitely think that there is some strange stuff going on there. Do I think it's as active as they'd like you to believe? I don't know. At least in my experience, I did not experience as much haunting as I thought I was going to. But I definitely think it's someplace you need to check out. And if you can afford it and you have a group, definitely do the private, like rent it out. It was pretty nice. I mean, we had 10 people and there was $65 a person, so $650 for a long amount of time inside that building. So it's worth it. I check it out. So it's in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Check below for their website. Also, a big thanks goes out to the Greater Ohio Spirit Trackers. You guys are awesome, and I'm really glad to be part of you, and I'm looking forward to hunting more often with you. So, have a ghoulish time, Cublets, and until next time, bye!
I could go out in the darkness, see you calling my name. I hear you shouting, hear you calling, but it's not the same. Every word that you are throwing right into my back doesn't matter to me, cause I'm keeping my track. Let me go, let me go.